see on standard live YouTube, do they appear on live streams? The answer is yes. So you can get pre-roll ad, mid-roll ads, post-roll ads, and also display ads. So if you're familiar with on-demand content, you're aware of pre-roll ads. Those are ads that appear just as a user starts a session of a live stream. So let's say they click on your thumbnail, whether you're already live. So long as you're already live, that pre-roll ad appears. And then when they're watching it right till the end, you end the live stream, there's also a post-roll ad, just as you do with normal video on demand. But there is also mid-roll ads as well. And mid-roll ads are those ads that appear during the live stream. That's what I want to kind of unpack here. But just mid-roll ads can be as well skippable ads and non-skippable ads. So if you're a skippable ad, are those ads that give users the option to skip those ads, right? So those tend to be a little bit longer, but you can have the viewer has the option to skip those ads. Similarly, non-skippable ads are those ads tend to be shorter. User or the viewer cannot skip those ads. So mid-roll ads can include skippable and non-skippable ads. So I just wanted to clarify that as well. That those skippable, non-skippable ads can be also pre-roll and post-roll ads on your live streams, okay? Now, when it comes to monetizing, enabling monetization on a live stream, right? When you go through the process of setting up a live stream, if you haven't done that already, check out the Help Center guide, check out our Gather page on the basics on setting up a live stream. But essentially, through that process of setting up a live stream, you can enable monetization. So in that process, there's a monetization section there. Just make sure you apply or enable that monetization flag. Now, for those of you who are creating your YouTube live stream from encoding applications like OBS, Streamlabs, we've received feedback in the past that, when you create those live streams through those apps, monetization is not enabled by default, meaning you have to go into your YouTube channel and manually enable them. However, we've recently introduced a new feature which allows you to tell your YouTube channel if a live stream is created from a encoding application like OBS or Streamlabs, automatically apply monetization to that. So the way you can do that is go to your channel settings, right? And then open the live control room. And in the bottom left of the YouTube live control room, the live control room being where you manage a live stream, there's a cog icon, a settings icon. And there you'll see now in my screenshot here on the slide on the right side, there's a button that says apply these settings to streams created on third-party tools. That means that once you've set up a live stream monetization, you click the cog, you click that tick. That means that when you go into Streamlabs or OBS or StreamYard or wherever you're creating your YouTube live streams from, that means that those settings will be carried on. So you don't have to worry about jumping back into your live control room to tick the monetization flag. So this is something relatively new and something that I also wanted to point out today, okay? And so our Help Center guide will elaborate a bit about this as well and also show you a bit how to. So if you have any questions on that, just write them there in the chat and we'll get to them in the Q&A section. All right, so what is a live mid-roll? A live mid-roll is a mid-roll that appears during a live stream, right? So you as a creator can make a request for a mid-roll, or you can have YouTube automatically insert those. I'll go into that in a bit. But a live mid-roll plays whilst your live stream is still going, right? So if a live mid-roll request is made in the middle of your live stream still remains live for the viewer, and it keeps going, and the ad will appear there. For manual insertion, it'll go over the top of the ad. So you have to remember that when you request a live mid-roll, when a live mid-roll appears, you should essentially have safe to view content all the time. It's not like you can kind of press insert ad break and then just kind of have anything appear. I think it's good to have safe to play content. But we've actually brought out a feature which is we call take a break ads, which I'll go into in a bit. But essentially, a live mid-roll does not interact. It does not stop the stream itself. The stream keeps going. Okay. And your live mid-rolls, your live mid-roll markers, they're not saved on the recording of a live stream. So after a live stream is over, just like you would do with any other video on demand, you go in there and you place your own mid-roll markers. on the recording of your live stream. Okay. And just a nice quote that I like here, creators who adopted live automatic mid-rolls saw on average of over 20% uplift in live stream in ad revenue per hour. So that's also one of the reasons why I want to talk about live mid-rolls and go into that in a bit of depth, because it is an opportunity to increase the in-stream ad revenue per hour. Cool. All right, so I was talking about, I mentioned briefly automatic midroll and manual midroll, right? So let's unpack what those terms mean. So an automatic live midroll is where you tell YouTube, I want you to judge when to insert live midrolls during my live stream. Okay. So how can you do that? How can you configure that? Well, there's two main ways of configuring that. One is that we have a kind of 3 levels feature. Okay. Conservative, balanced, and aggressive. Conservative being the lowest level, aggressive being the highest level, right? So these are basically 3 levels. The higher the level, you're telling YouTube, insert more ads, more mid-roll ads during my live stream randomly, right? So the higher you go, the more mid-roll ads appear, but technically more disruptive to your content, right? Now, we have a sort of logic running with these automatic live mid-rolls. So we try not to make them disruptive, but they definitely can be disruptive. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend automatic mid-rolls if you're broadcasting a football match or any kind of like gaming content where it's important for viewers to see everything. But if it's content where, it's okay for viewers to maybe, let's say a mid-roll ad appears, they just rewind enough, it's okay, then totally go for automatic live mid-rolls. So obviously the benefit to automatic live mid-rolls is that you don't have to do anything. You just enable it and YouTube's automatically inserting live mid-rolls. A great example where this is used a lot is 24/7 live streams, right? So if you go into, there's a lot of kids content which use automatic live mid-rolls, which is just like a 24/7 live stream of episodes being played on loop. They enable automatic live mid-rolls, and revenue is being generated as these mid-rolls are being inserted. Okay. The other option is there's a timed mid-roll ad appearance. So 6, 12, 18, 24, or 30 minutes. Those are when the ad requests are made. Now, I think what's important to note is, not everybody sees live mid-rolls when a live mid-roll ad request is made. Think about YouTube Premium viewers, right? YouTube Premium viewers will keep watching the content, right? No matter whether you have automatic mid-rolls or manual mid-rolls, there are still going to be users who are not going to be served mid-roll ads at live mid-roll ad request points. So that's just something to just be aware of, okay? So, wait, before I go into that, yeah. So if you have any questions around that and like, who gets served live mid-rolls and who don't, just submit a question in the chat. Now, side-by-side mid-roll ads. This is a new feature, very new feature. This is just recently, I think in the past couple of weeks, this has just been featured on our YouTube Help Center guide. Side-by-side mid-roll ads is the new way for automatic mid-roll ads to appear, right? So if you have applied either of the automatic mid-roll ads to your live stream, these types of mid-roll ads will appear side by side to the content. So what does that mean? So that means that when an ad request is made, the viewer who's eligible to see an ad at that moment, the YouTube player sort of splits into, right? So to the left is the main program feed. Okay, it's your live stream. But to the right is the ad. And the audio from the ad is the audio that takes over. So essentially your stream goes silent, but people know that your content is still going. Rather than, an ad suddenly appearing and people wondering, oh, is a stream paused or something like that? Now it's there on the side. This is a very new feature. So it's important to just be aware of the requirements. The requirements are iterated in our YouTube Help Center guide. But what's required is that your latency setting is set to normal, right? And that you select one of the automatic mid-roll ads features that I just mentioned in the previous slide. Okay, so that was either of the 3 levels or one of the timing settings at the bottom. Okay, and you'll find that in your monetization settings as you're setting up a live stream. Cool. And then finally, no captions, so we don't support captions yet. For this particular for live streams with this example. Okay, so this is a very new feature. It's basically we want to minimize the disruption of the live stream for viewers at the same time be able to give you the advantage of being able to earn revenue on ads that are automatically appearing during a live stream. Ethan, I just saw the question come up from Ethan. I think it's something adding captions and adding accessibility support is something that we're always striving towards. So I think at some point, ideally, we'd like to have this back. All right. So that was talking about automatic mid-roll ads and the new kind of way that automatic mid-roll ads appear. Let's now shift to manual ad insertion. So you want to say you're selecting manual ad insertion because you want to decide when ads appear during your live stream. And I think that's important to have control, especially if you're doing something like a competition or a gaming content or a match or something, or something where it's quite important that the viewer isn't disrupted. Okay. So this is where instead of selecting, let YouTube insert mid-roll ads, you say, I will insert mid-roll ads manually. And there are 3 ways you can do this, right? This is through the live control room as a third-party app. So the third one is through Scuddy 35 Markets. I won't go through that. That's particular to broadcast workflows like in television studios and so forth. So let's talk about the first 2. Okay, I think though, before I continue, when you make a manual ad request, it's not guaranteed that everyone will see an ad when you make that manual ad request. Right? Like I said, for YouTube premium viewers, so during the live stream, I hit the insert ad button. Not everyone sees the ad. When you hit that insert ad button, you're just telling YouTube now is a safe time to insert an ad for those viewers who are eligible to see an ad. And manual ads go over the top of the content. They take up the whole screen. So not like side-by-side regular ads or automatic, but manual ads take over the whole stream, okay? So to trigger a manual ad to the YouTube live control room, whilst you're live, in the top right corner, you will find an insert ad button. It's a $sign. So when you hit that $sign, a little ad insertion text appears in the bottom left of the live controller. And so that's to let you know that the ad request has been registered. So like I said, when you hit that insert ad button, you're telling YouTube now is a safe time to insert an ad, okay? So those viewers who are eligible to see an ad, they'll be served an ad full screen. It could be, like I said, a mixture of different lengths. So some people might get 15-second ad break. Others might get 30-second ad break. What's good to have in place just before you hit insert ad is to have some content that's safe for people to view. So in this screenshot here in the bottom, there's a slate here that says, we'll be right back. So what you could do is you could put up an image that says, we'll be right back. Or maybe there's some video, maybe you've got pre-recorded content going through your encoder, or you could just keep continuing the show. Maybe it's like a sort of lull in content where it isn't that critical. If you think about maybe halftime content where maybe it's like just interviewing, or maybe there's a little you just want to play back some video, maybe some highlights from a previous live stream. You could also do that too as well. So yeah, think about where you want to be making those manual ad requests, right? So do you want to make them at like a peak point? If you make them at a peak point where there's a lot of people watching, you're likely to generate more revenue from that ad request, though it might be a bit disruptive. At the same time, maybe it might be safer to do it in a lull where there's not much happening. Maybe there's like a transition between one part to your show or a second part. That could be a good place to make that insert ad request. Okay, so I would say it would be safe to assume that after 60 seconds, after hitting the insert ad button, after 60 seconds, you're safe to assume that everybody has returned to your content. Cool. Now, being in the live controller, I know that a lot of creators are not actually managing their YouTube live streams through the YouTube live controller. So if you use something like StreamYard or OBS or Streamlabs, right? You're creating your encoding application, you're creating your live streams through those applications. So, the start and end point is all being taken place on those applications. So you're not really looking at the live control. Therefore, you might be less likely to be hitting that insert ad button manually. There are third-party applications who plug into our API to trigger ad requests. So basically, Stream Deck. Those of you who are, live stream quite a lot, I've probably come across a device like this. It exists in the software version, so you can have it on your computer, or there's also the hardware platform as well. I think there's like the biggest one is like 8x8 buttons or something, and there's little smaller ones. They have an insert ad button. So that means that they have an like if you go to the marketplace or something, you just add a YouTube ad insert button to the Stream Deck. So when you hit that insert ad button on the Stream Deck, it's the equivalent of hitting the insert ad button in the YouTube live control room. So that might be an easy way to just have something there with you and you're ready to hit manual, make a manual ad request. So, this is a third-party application. So with all third-party applications, please carry out tests on a listed live stream before going live. Great. Oh, yeah, and for those of you who are a bit techie, if you want to create your own kind of script, your own kind of application where you're automating the manual ad insertion, check out our developer guide on the Live 2.0 API if you want to do any of that kind of techie stuff. All right. Now, take a break ads. Feature number 2, very new. So there's the hitting the insert ad button sign, right? There's the insert ad button here saying, okay, just insert an ad here. Good. But let's say you want to take a break. Let's say you want to walk away, right? And you don't want to have to have your own kind of, program ready whilst you need to like take a break or something like that. We have introduced a take a break ads feature. So this is a specialist kind of like mid-roll ad request where there is a temporary away screen that we essentially offer you to plug into that can run for 1, 3, or 5 minutes. And in that kind of away screen, YouTube will insert ads to those viewers who are eligible to see it in that moment, right? Ads won't constantly run for that whole duration, but for that duration, there is a select video from your library that is playing in that. So you could upload, just like a will be right back little fun animation as enlisted to your YouTube channel, or you could be selecting one of your videos that's highlight as that the video that plays during this take a break session. Okay, so how do you actually do that then? So first of all, to configure it from the YouTube live control room side, go to the take a break options. Again, you'll see that in the top right corner next to the insert ad button. And you'll see the option there to take a break. To configure that, go into the settings of the live stream, go to the overlay for breaks. And there is where you select the video that will play during that break feature. Okay. Now, the next part of this is to understand how to overlay this video. And the way you do that is you need to bring the URL into your choice encoder application as a browser layer. So for those of you who are using OBS, OBS is very popular. Give me a crab emoji for those who use OBS. There you go. We got one. Okay, yeah, we got a couple. We got emojis all over the place. Fantastic. All right. So this is how you use OBS to configure this feature. Notice in the right at the bottom, there's a URL link there. That's the URL link to the video that you selected there. Let's go to, okay, I'll jump back to this, but let's go to OBS. So in OBS, you go to sources, you click plus and paste that URL there as a browser source. So when you click plus, you drop down and you select browser source and you paste that layer at the top, right? And so, at first, when you've not triggered an ad, it's just a transparent layer. You're just seeing whatever the video is there. To make that appear, you go to the live control room and you hit that. Sorry, let's just stand back here. The live control room, there's a take a break button in the top right. You hit that take break button, you select the duration, and that's when you'll see in your encoder that video appear, right? So the URL source is pulling the video link as a browser source layer into OBS that will appear when in the live control room you make that take a break. Okay, the YouTube Help Center guide will teach you step by step on how to set this up. In case you're not following me, I appreciate for those of you who are YouTube Live, maybe this is a few steps, but hopefully if you follow me a bit more, you'll kind of get it. Now, when it comes to setting up the take a break ads, like I said, you just choose a video from your library But what you can do is, so when you make that take a break request, you start that ad break request. When the duration that you've selected ends, so let's say you selected 3 minutes, a prompt appears on the live control room asking you, are you ready to jump back in? Meaning it won't just disappear after 3 minutes. You don't have to run to the toilet in under 3 minutes and hope you can make it back, right? The thing will only disappear when you hit end break. And similarly, you can also choose to extend the break as well. So you have a lot of control here. Or if you have any questions about that, fire away in the chat. I think this is one of the few presentations that are out there talking about take a break ads from YouTube. All right, so that was my deep dive into live middles. What time are we at? We're at 5:30. Okay, cool. So I think we'll have plenty of time for questions. And now I kind of want to unpack a few of the other monetization features that, for those of you who are monetizing already on YouTube, are familiar with. So, live shopping. So YouTube shopping allows you to, for those of you who already connected a store, if you want to connect a store, check out the YouTube Help Center guide. You know, we support the usual big shopping stores, you know, things like Shopify, I think Teespring as well. Maybe they rebranded to something else, but check the Help Center guide for the types of stores that we connect to. And then once you connect your store, you know, you'll find that store tab in your channel. So you just click that store tab and see the features there. But with live shopping, what it allows you to do, you can connect your store, you can connect specific items to a live stream. So apologies if this is a bit of a small GIF over here, but basically that's a GIF of the live control room. You select the live control room, there's a shopping tab there. You can go in and you can select specific products to appear on the bottom of the live stream, right? Now, also, you know, on the right here, you're seeing a GIF of a vertical live stream. So this also applies to vertical live streams as well. Okay, so on your horizontal live stream, by vertical live stream, by the way, I mean live streams that appear in shorts. Okay, so when you're looking at a live stream on a shopping page, when you're looking at a live stream that has shopping items tagged to it, you'll see a row of those items selected at the bottom of the live stream, right? Just with the description. But then you can also tag specific items to appear on the live stream, right? So in the picture on the right there, you'll see that a little shopping item appears. What you can do is you can, let's say, you know, as you're talking about a new product that you've added to your store, you can have that product appear as a small clickable overlay in the bottom left corner of your YouTube live stream. You can have, you know, select products, hero products that you're talking about during the live stream appear in there. And that acts as a sort of prompts for viewers to engage in. So you can have something pinned right at the beginning of your live stream, or maybe just as you're talking about that, you know, product, you're like, hey, everybody, check out this new shirt in my my store. You pin that product and that will appear in the bottom left of the live YouTube player. Okay, so it's a pretty cool feature there. So it's product tagging, product pinning. Again, check out the YouTube Help Center guide for this. So yeah, there's a multiple ways you can do this, and you can run tests of this through unlisted live stream links. So you want to see how this works, how you can do it, give a rehearsal before you launch into doing a live shopping stream. You can do this all on unlisted live stream links. So an unlisted live stream link is a link that, you know, nobody can search for or find. Only those who you've manually shared the link with can view an unlisted live stream. Cool. Yeah. So, you know, actually during the live stream as well. So on the bottom, on the left image here, you could see an example of a product that has been pinned to a live stream. You know, you can see, sorry, if it's a bit small, it's in the bottom left. You can see it has the title of the item, the picture of the item, and the price of it as well. And then you click on it. You can also say, viewers could see whether it's still in stock or not. Maybe if you pin an item, suddenly it'll go out of stock because everyone's jumping on it because you're talking about it. And then on the middle image here, you're seeing a screenshot from the YouTube mobile app, and you can see the row of select products there. And then on the right there, it's just a final product. You could also talk about it. You could maybe pin a chat message as well, saying, hey, everybody, check out this new feature. You could link to it as well, or just give people a call to action. Click on that live shopping item, that shopping item that you've picked. Cool. So that's live shopping.